Hey folks, Nathan here from the Star Wars Timeline Gold, Star Wars Beyond the Films, and the Star Wars Gaming podcast Cloud City Casino, bring you another look at Wave 1's expansions for Star Wars Legion from Fantasy Flight Games. We have something a little different here. This is the first product we're looking at out of only 2 thus far released that is actually something that's not from the core set. So your Stormtroopers, Rebel Troopers, AT-RT, and 74Z Speeder Bike unit expansions, plus your Range Ruler and Movement Tool, and your Dice Pack. All those other products that you could pick up, ranging from 25 for those other unit expansions to 15 for those more convenience items, all of those are things that are found within the core set, except for the fact that the AT-RT in the expansion is a slight variant, and one of the 2 speeder bikes is also a slight variant. But by and large, you're getting stuff you already had back in the core set, you're just now getting more of it. But for these last 2 we're looking at, the ATST and this one, the T-47 Airspeeder, we are looking at unit expansions that are not otherwise within the core set. So here we have, again, our T-47 Airspeeder here. So the thing that we would see on Hoth. And it is a beauty. Okay? It's very detailed, much more detailed than you might expect. Let's take a look. So we have our mini. You can paint this thing. I did not glue on this part because it just sticks in there. It's kind of hollow on the inside. It just sticks in there so I can pop it off to store it away. You do attach it with glue to the base. Yes, you are putting this together. It's a much larger base than any of the other ones we've seen so far. We'll see the same kind of base being used on the ATST, only of course the Imperial color rather than Rebel. You're assembling it by putting on the cannons, the little thing holding up the flaps, and then the flaps themselves, the little thing holding on the bottom flaps, plus those flaps themselves, plus the weapon you're attaching to the back. Now there are 2 options for that weapon. I use the power harpoon here. You also, though, have the option of a ground buzzer blaster. We'll see those both named with their upgrade cards here. We, of course, have our unit card and our order token. This is a symbol we haven't seen yet. This is the heavy symbol. Still Rebel on the back. Aim token, dodge token. Our 3 vehicle damage token for regular damage, disabled, and weapon destroyed. 2 1-count wound tokens, 2 3-count wound tokens, and our proof of purchase. 5 upgrade cards here. Most of which, I'd say, well, a majority of which, right? 3 out of 5 are new, one of which is in the core set, and one of which we've seen in 2 other expansions, so kind of a mixture here. So we have our M0DK Power Harpoon that lets us use the one I've got on there. You have the AX100 Ground Buzzer, that's that other one that you could theoretically put on. These you can actually just put on without gluing, so that's nice. They actually stay even if you don't glue it, even though I went ahead and glued mine because I don't want to lose the friggin' thing. Then we have Wedge Antilles, which is pretty cool. Long Range Comlink, which we saw back in the core set and in some of the expansions here. And the Comms Jammer, which we've seen with the Speeder Bike and AT-RT expansions, but not in the core set. So if you're playing as a Rebel, this is a chance to get another cool vehicle into play, the first of the heavy Rebel vehicles to put into play, but it's going to cost you a little bit more than those other unit expansions because of the size, because of the detail of little tiny pieces and so forth to put together. This one's going to run you $30 rather than the $25 of the other unit expansions we've looked at so far. So a little bit more. You'll get it for about $24 or so if you buy it on Miniature Market these days. But basically, if you want to bring in another vehicle and something iconic for this ground combat, look no further than the T-47 Airspeeder. It's probably the single most iconic ground vehicle that the Rebels had from the original trilogy, and now it's in the game for a price.